Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan of SportsMemo.com, and I'm here with my good friend and professional sports bettor, Don Buster, to take a look at the Thursday night NCAA basketball action. Buster, welcome to the show. I know for a fact that you are kicking butt in a major way over at SportsMemo.com. High 60% against the spread over the last 30 days in college basketball. Welcome to the show, and how are things going?
Yeah, John, thanks a lot for having me. Sorry, I was on a little vacation last week, so I missed last week's show with you.
Quite all
And
right.
we don't want the gambling gods listening to that kind of stuff being 60%. We want
So true.
we want the clients to be aware, but we don't like to brag too much about that. We've been on a nice college basketball run here, and we were number one at Sports Memo last year in college basketball. We started off a little rough, but we've really picked it up just in time for conference tourneys, and of course the big dance, of course, coming up in mid-March.
Yep, good job. And make sure you guys and gals get over to sportsmo.com and get his subscription. Don't buy a 5%er or just that single play. Get the 30-day subscription. It doesn't cost that much. And I assure you'll be glad you did. Now, Buster, you're looking at a game in the Summit Conference. And that, to be totally honest, it's a conference I don't usually, my models don't pick up on some of these plays, but this one intrigues me quite a bit. We have South Dakota, and they are the Coyotes. They're going up against the Kansas City Kangaroos, better known as the Roos. They're 2.5-point home favorites after opening at -3. I don't have a total yet for this. Oh, I do have a total. This came up. It opened at 141.5. We're now at 140. A little betting on Kansas City and the under, the way it looks. Kansas City's 18-10 on the season, 10-2 at home. They're 4-4 against the spread in their home games. The Coyotes are 17-10 straight up for the year. So this is a matchup of two of the better teams in the Summit. They are 7-4 against the number in their road games. So tell me where the best bet is in this matchup.
Well, John, yeah, I go through a lot of the conferences, almost obviously all of them. I actually rank the teams. It's a tedious task, but that's what you have to do in this business to make some money. And like I say, and it's nice when I see that the hard work is actually paying off. Like you had mentioned, I'm hitting around 65% of this last 30 days, and actually going well into the beginning of January. So we're going to go with the small home favorite here with Kansas City. I think there's some really nice value here. The line's 2.5. We had the line at 4. These clubs played on December 22nd in South Dakota. Kansas City came away with an 11-point victory. And as we all know, that doesn't really mean much in college basketball, because you can go look at in-season revenge, or you can just look at the team has the other team's number. In this situation, I really like the way Kansas City's been playing of late. In that game on December 22nd, the big reason for their victory, they only turned the ball over 5 times. South Dakota turned the ball over 17 times. And Kansas City's MO this year, they've been turning teams over. They've turned teams over to double digits almost every game this year. And that's going to help them win this game tonight, if you ask me. Also, as you had mentioned, Kansas City has been excellent at home. They're 10-2 on the season. South Dakota, when they get on the road, like a lot of college teams come on the road, it's very tough to be on the road in college. They're only 5-6 so far this year. And like I said a little earlier, really impressed with what the Kansas City's been doing lately. They went in last week and went into North Dakota, played the North Dakota road trip against North Dakota State, and they beat both those teams quite handily. Really like the way they've been playing, and now they have actually won their last 6 of their last 7 games. And John, of course, I always have a little stat, which is what I find is even more impressive if you go down. They had been playing a lot of their games on the road. This, as you had mentioned, they're only 4-4 against the spread at home, but they've been playing on the road a lot lately. And their last 9 games, they are 8-1 against the spread.
Wow.
So give us Kansas City for tonight as a good value, a small home favorite.
I love the breakdown, Buster. I'm at the window with you on that one. I think that's a great pick at -2.5. My game is in the West Coast Conference, and that means I'm looking at number 1 Gonzaga Bulldogs. They are first in their conference, obviously, as well. Taking on the San Francisco Dons, who are third, and this has always been the game for San Francisco, or the game for Santa Clara, or the game for St. Mary's. You know, they try to upset these guys at least once in the next 10 years. Gonzaga is just a dominant team. They still have the Player of the Year in Timmy playing at center now. He's a finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award. And it's a complete team. I do think, though, I lean San Francisco here initially, but my real play is on the under. And I think this is the time of year where a team like Gonzaga, who's number 1 in scoring offense at almost 90 points per game, does start to tighten the ropes a little bit on the defensive end and in preparation for the tournament. Not necessarily for the preparation of the conference tournament, but for the end result and goal for them is to win the national championship. So I think in this game, we're going to see a slower paced game based on the matchup. San Francisco will definitely want to play slow and stay within reach. They're getting 10 points as a home dog. You know that tiny stadium that they have is going to be packed to the rim, and they're going to be fully prepared, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to do everything they can to make it uncomfortable for the Bulldogs. But this under system, Buster, and I know you like my little systems here, this one's pretty good. It's actually hit 87% over the last 5 seasons. That's 26-4, folks. And it goes like this. Play under in a game that has a total between 150 and 159.5. With a team like Gonzaga that has posted 3 or more consecutive unders in a row. And in a game involving 2 very good teams that are outscoring their opponents by 8 or more points per game. And with the game occurring in the second half of the season, which means after game number 15. So again, it's second half of the season after game number 15, 2 outstanding teams that are outscoring their opponents by 8 or more points per game on the season. One of the teams has to be coming off 3 consecutive unders or more, and the total 150 to 159.5. It all adds up to 26-4 over the last 5 seasons for 87%. So I'm going to go the under, Buster. And lastly, San Francisco is 16-4 to the under, coming off a blowout win of 20 points or more over a conference rival, and Gonzaga's 8-2 to the under this season, after 2 straight games giving up 9 or fewer offensive rebounds. I'm fully on the under in this matchup. So there you have it, Buzz.
Those are some great stats, John. They're great. That database you have is very good. I've seen you for the last year on these videos doing a lot of these stats, and they're excellent, and people should listen.
I appreciate that, and the same to you, Buster. Your numbers, I love the data that supports the fundamental matchups. That's the true professional breakdown of a game. You have to use both. You just can't use the numbers. It has to make sense, and then you have to have intuition as well, and that comes with experience. And you and I have been doing it longer than we even wanted to admit on any show ever.
Very
so anyway,
true.
I appreciate your time, Buster, as always. We have 2 picks here. We want to remind you to get over to SportsMemo.com and get the subscriptions of the people you want. It doesn't have to necessarily be us, but we would appreciate it if it was. But it's a great group of guys that work very, very hard, and they're professional bettors who put their money up every single day. And you can tail them, and you can have them working for you starting tonight. So get over there and do that, and we'll be back tomorrow on Friday with another edition of the Daily Dime NCAA Basketball Show. So until then, best of luck to everyone tonight. Bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours.